Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, BookMic&You. We finished Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice last week, and today we'll be starting with Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So we won't be going chapter by chapter. We will just have a general discussion on the book. So we assume that the listeners have already read the book. So yeah, what is your opinion about the book?
So this is my first time reading the book based on your recommendation, and I feel like it's a more maybe a more realistic take on how orphans would fare. Like when you look at Anne of Green Gables, it's very idealistic,
Yeah, true. Yeah,
but
because,
with
yeah.
Jane Eyre, you see a more realistic take on how things would have actually been for a little girl without parents or without a responsible guardian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of a dark book. So
It it
and
is. It really is.
it
Because
makes
if you
you
hadn't
sad in
told me
many
that,
parts. Mm.
yeah, if you hadn't warned me about that, I would have been pretty taken aback by how she was getting abused. She was actually physically abused by her cousin's hit and all of
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, exactly. Even I felt the same. So this makes me question whether are there people like this in real life, or is it just in um stories like Cinderella or in movies that you see? How can people be so cruel? They, uh, I
I think
can't
they
even
do
fathom.
exist. I
They
mean, of course
exist.
they exist.
Okay.
Even now, even though circumstances has changed. I don't also, when was this book written? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, in 1800s. So Charlotte
1800s.
Bronte was born in 1816 or so.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
it's actually
even though
around
this,
the time as Jane Austen, right? But I see a
right.
very what stark contrast between
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
topics that both of them choose to write about. I think Charlotte probably had a more a harder life, and most of her, I mean, Jane Eyre mostly is based on her story, I guess.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. But
Yeah.
even in this story, her Jane Eyre's legal guardian, Mrs. Reed, they are wealthy. They are
Yes.
wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's also wealthy, Jane Eyre. But they are just very cruel people who do
You,
not want to take care of
no,
Jane.
actually, Jane is not wealthy, right? Her father was a poor clergyman, and then her grandfather, who is her mother is the wealthier um, parent, right? So Mrs.
Yeah,
Reed's husband is her mother's brother. So
yeah. So
since
they are relatives. They are
yeah, they are
cousins. So
relatives. Yeah, but
in a way,
in a
she's
way, yeah,
also
she comes from a
coming
wealthy
from
family, I
wealth.
would
She
say,
comes
but
from,
yes.
yeah. But even so, it's not wealth or lack of wealth, but it's just how these people are and
Hmm.
the way they treat her. It's just cruel.
Yeah, and
So
she does not even reprimand her kids from doing things to Jane Eyre,
yeah,
right?
I think we get to see that later on, right? The repercussions for that, how the
Yes,
children turn
yeah,
out to be.
yeah, that
But
was. Hmm.
one thing I noticed or one thing I noted is even though Jane Eyre, she's never known love, she's never known her parents' love or care or affection or anything.
Hmm.
She's very outspoken,
Hmm.
I should say.
Hmm.
I found that common with maybe not as much as Anne
And
of Green
yeah.
Gables, but yeah, but even here she is she in with whatever way she can, she does stand up for herself.
Yeah, even I found the similarity between the two orphan girls. I mean, it's nice that they are the way they are. So,
Yeah, definitely.
um, yeah, but I was really appalled at the way these this aunt treated her. So
How
I
about
actually
the
was
cousin
questioning.
brother also, Jack? He was the one who actually hit her and hurt her.
Yeah,
So
but some children, I think they are just a mirror of how you bring them up. So if Mrs. Reed had been a better parent, then
yeah,
yeah, she
definitely.
would not have
Mhm.
behaved that way. So I can
Or at
understand.
least for the, I would think at least for the sake of that child, for the sake of Jack, she should have reacted
Oh
to
yeah.
make him a better person.
Yeah, I think she didn't know
Yeah.
any better either because she was also brought up in a wealthy family, or maybe she was brought up the same way too. And I think she had some kind of a dislike towards a dislike or a hate
Yeah.
maybe towards Jane,
Okay. Yeah.
because her husband um, really had compassion towards this child.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, Jane is his
It is
sister's.
still not an excuse for the way things turned out to be.
Yeah, yeah, of course not. There is no excuse for her actions at all. Yeah, but the poor child, like when she was talking about her, how sad she is in the beginning when she falls sick, right? And then this
Mm.
apothecary comes and he talks to her, and she tells him that, like, I'm sad. So to hear that from a child, it's terrible. Like at least your childhood should be good. I think every child deserves a good childhood, like where they have guardians to take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
True.
was a sad part. And that's when I started thinking about how it had been back in the day because many people don't have a long life expectancy, right? So
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
many might have grown up without parents, and if they don't have kind guardians, then probably these things happen.
Mm. True.
Yeah.
So
And there
we'll
is
start.
also, yeah,
Yeah. What were you saying?
no, there's also emphasis on her looks, right? She, even
Mm.
the house helps
True.
at Gateshead, where she's living, they talk about the fact that she is not good looking. So there is this
Yes.
house help who says if
There's
she were
yeah.
pretty, then we would feel some kind of compassion towards her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she is also portrayed as wise beyond her years, right? Maybe not wise, but
Mm.
she is not childlike.
Yeah, I don't think they would have that quality, especially in Eyre's case. That wouldn't be there because at such a young age, she's lost her parents, and very soon she's realized that nobody loves her, nobody is there to care for her.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. There
So,
is nothing to look forward to in her life, right? And this is also one thing. So Anne comes to Green Gables at the age of around 11 or so.
yeah,
But before that, she was an orphan and she might have had a similar childhood, right? But she is so positive and yeah, she's portrayed that character is completely different from Jane Eyre.
I think when you're saying this, I'm just thinking. So in Jane Eyre's case, she's just there. She's not expected to do any work, if I'm right. She doesn't work at the
Oh,
house.
yeah,
She's tortured and all of that, but she's not a servant. And
yeah,
there's this line even where the help says that if you were a servant, it would have been better. You're below a servant.
yeah, that is true. So,
So, is the earth that same size and mass and gravity, yeah? Or we got jump on Venus so high, huh?
she,
Yes. But
Oh,
in Anne's case, she was working when though she was only 10, 11 when the story started. It is
mm.
said that she was working at a place before with kids, helping kids. I mean, not helping kids, taking care of kids.
Oh, okay. So she had something to do. Probably, yeah, even she might have had some good moments, right?
But
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
that
think
is
she was
why.
abused like this. There was no sort of abuse.
Yeah, okay, that
She was
is
not physically hurt or
hmm. Oh, yeah.
that wasn't there.
Yeah, poor Jane Eyre. So this is, and then when this Mr. Brocklehurst comes from the school that
Mm.
she was supposed to go to, it's a boarding school, right? So finally,
Yeah,
Mrs.
Lowood.
Reed, yeah, decides to send her to the school called Lowood. And this apothecary had a hand to play, I guess, in this decision,
Yeah, yeah,
which was for the good or bad, I don't know, but she was then sent to the school. And then
yeah.
she has a fit before going to school, right? And she kind of opens up to Mrs. Reed. Not opens up, she bursts out to
Yeah,
Mrs.
because Mrs. Reed insults her, says that she's a deceitful child, she's a liar, and all of that. And then, so Jane, somewhere, even though this child is only 10 years old, she's understood that because Mr. Brocklehurst he's a part of the management now. Even though she goes to the school, he's going to look at her in that way, that she's a difficult child,
Yeah.
and somewhere she knew that that would make her stay there difficult.
Yeah, so she was going to start a new life at this boarding school, and before,
Mm.
yeah, and she didn't want her reputation to be completely thrown into the
Tarnished.
mud. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, Mrs. Reed uh, just tells her opinion about this child to Mr. Uh, Brocklehurst, and yeah, Jane really
Vocalized.
gets angry about it. And then she
Mm.
doesn't stop. She just completely bursts out. And she
Yeah.
says like terrible things to Mrs. Reed. Right.
Um, what?
Not completely
What she?
terrible, but she says that if your husband were to see
Mm.
how the way you treated me, then yeah, he wouldn't
Yeah.
be happy. Something along those lines.
She's going to be very upset, and she also says that once she goes to the new school, she's going to tell everyone how she was treated
Hmm.
back here. She's
Yeah.
going to reveal the truth about Mrs. Reed, and that I think that's what hits a nerve for Mrs. Reed, and she's startled. She's I think more she's not angry, but she's just startled by this version of Jane,
Yeah.
and she leaves the room.
Yeah.
But
So,
our Jane, she's very excited. At that time, she's very excited to go and start this new life.
because for her, anything would be better than her current life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then not to forget this house elf, Bessie, who has been kind to her. So I think she
Mm,
was the only reason she might have made her life a bit better
a
at
bit better.
Gateshead. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was kind. Sometimes she would sing while she's sitting in the room with Jade. Yeah,
Mm.
so she
She
has
also
felt
made sure that
compassion.
Jane, yeah, she also made sure Jane was fed properly. She
Hmm.
always offered her food.
Yeah,
I
and
think
then
let's just go talk about the cousins also.
huh, of course.
So Jack Reed is the oldest. He's 14 years old, and He's the worst one out of the lot. He's a
Hmm.
bully, and he's abusive to everyone actually, everyone around him. So even in school, there were a lot of complaints, and Mrs. Reed doesn't. She's not. she doesn't want to send him to school because he kept falling sick. What was that?
Oh, did
And
he
she took
come
him
back
out of
from
school.
school? He was actually in school, right? And then he came
He
back, or
was in school, but there was this line that he was not very regular. He would go when he wished to.
oh, okay. Yeah, I did not catch that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah. And he was not even nice to his own mother.
his own mother or his sisters or the he was not nice to anyone.
Yeah. Just a poorly bred brat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other sisters are Eliza and Georgiana, who are po- so Jane says they are headstrong and
Hmm.
little bratty. But
Yeah.
Georgiana is really pretty. I think both the girls are pretty, and Georgiana especially.
Georgiana is the one who gets a lot of compliments, so she's
Mm.
known as the beautiful one,
Yeah.
and all of them are spoiled and selfish. But
Yeah.
Jack is the only one who hits her and throws things at her. And in the very beginning, she says uh, it's not something that happened once in a while or weekly or daily. It's something that happens every time he sees her. So
Mm.
every time Jack sees her, he throws something at her or he hits her or in some way he hurts her.
Yeah, how sad to experience things like that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, bullies at school, people might have had experience like that, but bullies at your
Oh
own
yeah, that's
house,
true.
and then,
At your own home, which is supposed to be your safe space.
yeah. So,
So
Jane,
she's never experienced safety,
yeah.
Jane.
Uh, yeah, it actually makes me, yeah, this book is really sad actually to read, even in the later part. The whole
Yeah.
book is kind of, it feels
Yeah, it
like
is
she's
a,
trying and trying, but things just
it
does
is
not
a
work out.
difficult read.
Yeah. And some people's lives are like that, right? It just does not improve. The people try to, maybe she started from the bottom. Maybe that is why
Hmm.
it was really hard for her because her parents were poor and they did not leave her anything. So she had to actually start from the rock bottom. But yeah, later she does have a means to live. So yeah, it improves a little bit. But when I think about it, she has had a hard life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I think
Jane goes to, huh?
no, I was just saying, I think it's the moments that, but she's also, you get to see that part also, that even though things are this difficult, she tries to hold on to those moments, which are those happy or good moments.
Hmm. Yeah, she came across as somebody who's a realist to me. So she's not like Anne, who's an optimist, right? Who sees the
Hmm.
good and the bright and the sunlight. That's not what Jane is. Jane is very realistic. What does she sees? She knows she has a strong sense of right and wrong, and
Hmm.
she, yeah. So that's why even as a kid, I think she has been a realist. So she does not. At least she even does not lean in to imagination. She does not escape. That is also a way of escapism, right? You imagine something
Yeah. Yeah.
and then yeah. But poor Jane, being a realist, did not even have that. Yeah, so she goes to the school, which when I read that part, right? I imagined the school as a very it's a tall building
Hmm.
made of like dark rocks, not even bricks. Like it. So when I think about school, this school, all I can think is like a dark building with light coming in from the top. Little bit of light comes from the topmost windows, and it's really a dystopian place. This is what, whenever I think of that school, this is what comes to my mind. I think.
Okay. It it kind of explains what's going to happen later on, right? The setup. Hmm.
Hmm.
So she goes to the school, and even she's also not very impressed by the school building or the rooms or anything. She's just in the beginning, she's just observing everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So she very quickly takes a liking to Miss Temple,
Hmm.
who turns out to be one of the best teachers there.
Yeah. And she
What do you
even
think about the what do you think about the teachers there?
they are, some of them are uh I think they give a lot of punishments, and they are not really kind to the kids except for Miss Temple.
Miss Temple. Yeah.
So yeah, they
And
give punishments, and yeah, I don't know how you, having a profession as a teacher, how could you not see things from the perspective of children? Like these kids, they all of them at the school, it's a charity of school, right?
hmm,
So
yeah.
many of them does not have parents, or they don't parents don't have money, or parents are sickly, and that is why they are there. And their education is paid for, right?
Hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I don't think the teachers had means, they didn't have any means to improve the situation. But yes, they didn't have to be, some of them were very strict and they would strike the students.
hmm.
And there's a description of a kind of rod or something that is used to hit the kids.
Hmm.
That was quite scary. Some of the teachers, they would use that to strike the kids, strike the children of the school.
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean,
But
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
other than that,
hmm.
I feel like most of the teachers at least were sympathetic towards the children, because so the food is also really bad. One, there is hardly any food for the children,
Hmm.
and then what they get is also really bad. So in the beginning, the first day, they serve burnt porridge.
Yeah. So that's what
So
I was thinking. When you have to cook, at least they can cook it, right? Cook it well, right? It's not that they don't have the means to do it. When you have
mm,
something and you have to feed so
maybe they
many
didn't,
children.
because later it revealed the conditions of the school itself were very bad. The water, the quality of the products, ingredients to make the food, all were really inferior quality products. So
Yeah.
maybe it is that. But so when there's a burnt porridge, the children, most of them are not able to eat it. And some of the teachers also sympathize and say it's really bad
Mm.
for the kids.
Yeah.
So I think Jane quickly realizes that this is how the school is. And I feel like another difference maybe between Anne and Jane is that Anne would have fought. It would not have led to anything, but here she would have fought for something. She would have voiced opinions, or she would
Mm.
have been loud. But Jane, I think
She
for Jane,
accepts
it's
it
like when,
as it is.
yeah, and when it is only when it is directed towards her, she voices. So
Yeah.
even when she's punished, she doesn't say anything. She accepts the punishment. She feels humiliated, but she doesn't say anything.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's because she was not allowed to, right? When she was back in Gateheads.
Yeah.
Her aunt would not allow her to back answer or talk back or
Yeah, and also
question.
here, had she back answered, it would have made it even more difficult. Her life would
Yeah.
have been even more difficult.
Yeah,
So she knows that.
yeah, true. Imagine if she was thrown out of the school, then where would she
Mm,
go? So I think she had to stay.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So that place is a gloomy place. That school.
Mm,
Yeah, but people like Miss Temple make things better for the kids.
yeah. And Jane quickly makes a friend, Helen. And Helen is, so Jane finds Helen very fascinating. She tells really good stories and she's very righteous. So she believes in good and she believes in forgiving. So even when she gets punished, she tells Jane that we should learn to forgive our teachers and they're just doing it for us to get better.
That is true. And this is a stark contrast between the two girls, right? Jane's
Mm,
one flaw, it's not a flaw, it's that she cannot forget the things that has happened to her. She keeps it in her mind. She's not vindictive, but there is she's not able to forgive the people who has done her wrong. So
mm,
I think this is what she learns from Helen, that
yeah.
whatever happens, it's not onto you. So
Mm,
you ought to forgive people for what they do. I think she does take that into she does learn that lesson. Not
yeah.
like she carries it. Um
Yeah. She carries it with her.
yeah, so this Helen was definitely a good influence on Jane. But
And
yeah, hmm?
and vice versa also, I feel, because Helen says that Jane is a very good student and she doesn't get distracted. She does all her tasks very well. So
Hmm.
I think maybe that is also the first time Jane is hearing something good about her. So she really cherishes this relation.
Yeah. But Helen was also sickly, right? So
Helen was
she
sickly, and the thing is that because the school conditions were so bad, the uniforms they didn't during winters they didn't have any of the woolen clothes,
hmm.
so they would still have to wear their pinafores, same uniform, and they had to go to church, had to walk and go. And even there, they were not provided for properly, food or clothing.
Yeah, and
So
yeah,
a lot of children fell sick.
yeah, probably a lot of money laundering were happening. So even though people were giving to charity, but these
Hmm.
Mr. Berk Brocklehurst, probably they were doing something, along the sides. So all the
Yeah,
money did not go to the children's welfare.
remember there was this part when Mr. Brocklehurst comes to the school
Mm-hmm.
for he comes to the school and he sees some of the girls with long hair or curls or and he says to immediately chop it off because he wants them to be very plain and
Yeah.
not have anything extra, just be very plain and not indulge in anything. So even though Miss Temple says that is a child's natural hair, he doesn't give in to it.
Yeah. So how
And
sadistic.
it is sadistic. And his children are very well dressed in silks and satins, while these children they're not even given the basic things are not provided.
Yeah, so
And
true. And
that's
I've heard
I
this
was yeah.
happens actually even today when people um they I mean they when they give to charity, this is what happens is it doesn't go to the children that it is meant for, but the people who are related to the management.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I have literally heard this from one of my friends while she was staying in hostel. So there were orphan kids there, and yeah, the money would just be taken by all the things, all the nice things would be taken by the person who is in charge of this charity, which is
Oh,
so sad. Like, yeah, I hope this is not the case with every charity, but this is a story that I've heard from one of my friends. So things like this happen, and it is sad that why would you take away from somebody who has nothing?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but people are like that. Yeah, and it's
yeah.
so it's reflected in this story. So yeah, there is this book has a lot to tell. Like there is a lot happening in this book, right? Even later. So it's not one dimensional. I
Hmm.
like Pride and Prejudice. In that, the main theme was this marriage, right? Finding a
Hmm.
person for, but this
Yeah,
is,
Pride and Prejudice is a fun book. This,
yeah, it's a
when you
light read.
start reading, it's a light read. In the beginning itself, you get an idea of how this book is going to be.
Hmm. This one like takes a lot of turns. It's from Jane's childhood till she grows up, and how her life turned out to be. Everything is there in this book. And yeah, and it's not and that's one of the difference. I could relate to this book, okay? I could understand what's going on, because maybe because we are from, I would say, in current terms, middle class. We have to work to earn our living, right? Everybody that we know work. So this is one thing that I missed in Pride and Prejudice. Like nobody seems to work. They seem to have everything.
Right. Yeah,
They just
but
talk, socialize,
I
and
think that's also because of the social class difference we were talking about. That is
could
the
be.
class difference. So even though Mrs. Reed or Jane's mother's side is wealthy, she could not reap the benefits of that. She has
Hmm.
never, she didn't have a luxurious life. She was not even given the basic things that a child
Yeah.
needed.
Because her parents did not have money, so they could not leave anything to her. And her grandparent just cut her mother off
Hmm.
after she married Jane's father,
The
because
father.
he was from a poor family. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yes. So,
and it's sad that, and also the other thing is, people die in this, right? They catch disease and they die. It's
hmm.
mentioned a lot. So even when Jane got sick, Bessie, the house help, worries that she
Hmm.
would die.
Yeah.
So I think this is more realistic to what was happening back in that time. Because in the
Hmm.
other book, nobody is worried about disease or death or anything, like in Pride and
Yeah.
Prejudice. Here, there is this focus, and it's when you read it, you feel like, yeah, this could happen. Like people easily die. Um,
Again, I'm wondering if it's because of the social class. So Mrs. Reed and the children, they have a different
yeah, they
position.
have a physician. Yeah,
It's not Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd is for the others, the house help and for
Jane.
Jane.
Yeah,
So if, even in that, the treatment is different.